Hi, this is Mimi, and I am talking to Katie today. So, a few moments ago, we were talking about your new job. Can you tell me a little bit about what's going on with that?
Yes, I was just promoted. I work at a retail store, so I was just promoted to assistant manager, and I'm feeling very nervous and anxious about it because I think maybe what if I'm not capable of doing it, or just a lot of anxiety.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit more about your job and how long you've been working there, and just give me a little bit of an idea of where you work?
Sure. I work at a small boutique. I've been there for about 6 months, and um, I was just promoted to assistant manager and just basically helping customers, answering phones, ringing people out,
Okay.
just everything that comes along with retail.
So, you've been working there for 6 months,
Mm-hmm.
and you just got promoted.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
that. Um, and you mentioned that you were feeling a little bit of um, anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Um, did you feel that anxiety before you were promoted?
I did a little bit because sometimes when I'm going into a new situation, I can sometimes work myself up and get really anxious about it and have so many racing thoughts. But this time, it just seems a lot worse because I feel like I'm going to have more responsibility on my shoulders, and I've been told by others that my manager can be hard on the assistant manager, and what if I do something wrong that she doesn't like, or what if I mess up somehow? So I just when I think about it, like right now, I'm getting really anxious about it.
Okay. So you mentioned the word it's going to get a lot worse. What are some of the feelings that are associated with that for you?
Um,
Just that prospect of it getting like a little bit out of hand.
my anxiety getting out of hand.
Just the whole promotion,
Yeah.
the whole situation with your manager and all that. What is the feeling?
The feeling is that I'm scared of the position, and because I know I can get anxious, I think that it's going to get worse because I have more responsibility and more people relying on me.
Okay. Well, Katie, you just described a thought.
Mm-hmm.
If you could try for me to think about the feeling that you experience when you're at work and you're with your manager and these um, these feelings arise. What is that feeling associated?
Nervous, anxious,
Okay.
very very anxious, um, scared. Like um, I get nervous when I'm around her because I want to make sure I'm doing everything right. And so when she's around, I definitely get more anxiety and more like nervous
Okay.
because I feel like she's definitely watching over me, and I want to make sure I'm doing everything exactly how I should.
So it's really more just when your boss is around, what it seems like, that your anxiety starts to kind of go to the surface.
I would say so.
Okay. So are there particular times in your job that is she around you all the time, or are you only around her part of the time? What does that look like in your job environment?
I'm around her part of the time. Depends on the day, depends on the time. I'll usually see her once during every shift. Sometimes she's with me my whole shift, and sometimes she's with me part of the shift.
Okay. Um, so let's talk for a moment about these feelings that are associated with your beliefs, really about what's going on in your job environment. Um, when they come up and you feel like the feeling you felt just kind of overwhelmed and um, stressed out, what is it that you do to kind of manage these?
Um, well, when I'm at work, I do get anxious. I kind of I feel like I'm going through the motions, but I'm in my head. I'm constantly just thinking about like, oh, what if I'm not doing this right, or what if a customer complains about how I'm doing, or I just it's like I feel like I'm there physically, but in my head, I'm just my anxiety takes over, and sometimes I have to go in the back and relax or get a drink of water
Mm-hmm.
or just have a moment to myself. And it's very overwhelming because I just don't know how all of a sudden they come on so strongly. And
Okay.
I I don't know why necessarily.
Yeah. Katie, you mentioned a few times about your fear of doing something wrong when she's around you. You know, when she comes near you, you get anxious and you don't want to mess up. When you have that thought, what like what do you feel in your body and in your mind? What is the main like the if you could name one feeling that's like you know at the forefront, the most prominent feeling, what would that be?
Um, Definitely
Nervous.
nervous, and I feel just wanting to make sure that I'm just doing what she expects of me. And sometimes maybe I put too much pressure on myself sometimes, and I think maybe that has something to do with why I get worked up, especially when she's around. But it's just, yeah, I just feel very nervous. And
Okay. Um, so when you say what she expects of you, what is expected of you?
well, she expects me to model how she wants the other employees to be, and she there have been instances where she has gotten upset with me over things, and just that made me feel like there's extra pressure added. And so whenever that happens, like each time that happens, it builds on my anxiety because when I'm around her, I think about how anxious I get, and then I also think about all the times I've messed up, and so I don't want to do that again when she's around.
Mm-hmm. Well, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So I'm going to do a little exercise with you, just to kind of sort through these feelings that you're experiencing, just to have a better idea of the most prominent ones for you. So the nervous feeling on a scale from 1 to 100, with 100 being the absolute worst it could possibly get, to 0 being nothing, no, like completely at peace. Where are you with that?
I would say I'm about a 90.
You're a 90? Okay. Okay. Another feeling you mentioned was fear. You're scared.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think that would fall?
Well, since I'm scared to do something that she won't like, I would say that's about like an 85 range.
Okay. So you're not as fearful as you are nervous that you're really going to do something wrong.
Right.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Um, so when you were at work the last time and this nervous feeling came up, what was the situation at hand?
The situation was we had merchandise that was lost because we sometimes do have a lot of thefts that happen, and so we were all frantically searching for a necklace. And because I was the manager, I felt like it was more pressure was put on me to find it, to make sure that if it was stolen, to report it. And so this time my manager wasn't there, and so I got really high anxiety and my nerves started going crazy because I was thinking, oh my goodness, if we can't find this necklace, maybe I could get fired and lose my job because maybe she thinks I wasn't watching the store well enough. And so that was the last instance where I really got anxiety.
Okay. And that pressure that you feel, do you feel that way because you're pretty much almost at the top. You're the assistant manager, so you have many more responsibilities than say just a sales associate. Um, do you feel like you're carrying a heavy load?
Yeah, sometimes I feel that way because, you know, the my coworkers, they're relying on me to do a lot of the work at hand because I am the manager. So definitely I feel that way.
What when you okay, so when you feel that heavy load, when you feel the heavy load from your sales associates, do you feel scared or nervous, or do you feel in control?
Yeah, I would say that my anxiety is still definitely there because I still feel the pressure, but it's not as bad just because I know that they, in a way, respect me and they kind of give me reassurance sometimes. And it's a completely different relationship that I have with them than I do with my manager. And but when she is around, and I definitely feel like I'm not the same. It's like I feel like I do definitely change because I'm more nervous about things and unsure about myself in a way.
Okay. So you feel most unsure when you're around your manager.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, okay. Well, this is all very understandable. You mean you just got promoted to a new job, and the feelings you're experiencing are, they're normal. You're not, this is expected, especially in a new job environment. You have many more responsibilities. So I just want you to know that. Um, and another thing to note is that, um, like you've been doing a good job managing what you can manage with what you have. When the anxiety does build up. So, but I would like to know a little bit more about when the anxiety rises. Do you get sweaty palms? Is your heart start beating really fast?
Mm-hmm. Yes, my heart goes crazy. I get sweaty palms. Like I feel like not that it's hard to breathe, but it's very like comes on very strong.
Okay. And do you feel this way in any other realm of your life?
Not usually.
Okay.
It's just mainly at work.
At work around your manager.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, over the next few sessions, we're going to kind of just dig in a little bit more into what this is about, and just the beliefs and the feelings and thoughts associated with the situation that you're in right now. Um, so yeah, and it was really nice to talk to you today, um, and I'm looking forward to working with you in the next few sessions. Um, so what I recommend is that we meet for the next 10 sessions and then kind of reassess at that point. And we'll check in after the third session. I just want to check in and see, what you feel about how we're doing with the progress and everything. And then after the 10th session, we'll kind of reassess that. Does that sound okay with you?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay. All right. Well, it was nice to meet you.